Ayo, and what is up, gang? Thank you so much for joining me here again on the channel today for your official Monday Night Raw review for this September the 11th, 2017, and we are going to talk about Monday Night Braun right here and right now on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. So, let's do this, baby. Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much once again for joining me here. My name is Nick Nightmare. This, with me as always, is Blue, the Snowball Microphone, the world heavyweight champion of microphones, and we are here to talk about Monday Night Raw, which came to us live from Anaheim, California. But before we get into that, let's take a moment to acknowledge what today is. And today is September the 11th, and it's not just a regular day on the calendar for many of us, especially those of us who live here in the New York City area and have been also affected in Virginia and in Pennsylvania and Flight 93 and the whole gamut of every bullshit thing that happened on this fucking day. And I have my own personal story, as I know almost every single one of you who have lived through that moment have some type of a story to share. And we're going to take a little sidestep for a moment, and I'm going to share my personal story with you. I'm going to let you in the little Nick Nightmare window, and we're going to dip into the memory mailbag, and I'm going to tell a quick little story. Of course, if you don't want to hear any of this shit, feel free to skip forward. I don't care, and you can get right to the Monday Night Raw review. But we're going to talk a little bit about my September 11th and why it's just a very strange day for me. On September the 10th, 2001, my fiance and I were at a family barbecue. We were enjoying my cousin's house that day out in New Jersey, and we were with the whole entire family, and we were having a nice day. You know, the day comes winding to an end. We sang happy birthday, blew out the candles, and home we went. An hour and 20 minutes later, we arrive at my door. We just pretty much finished showering up, settling in, you know, getting ready to go to bed. I gotta go to work the next day, as I am going to begin my temporary position, because I was a temp at this time. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's a person that takes a job for a short amount of time. Temporary position. So, just to clarify that for those that don't know. And this position was to be with Deutsche Bank. And the office I was to report to was to be in the World Trade Center. I was supposed to be in that building on the morning of September the 11th at approximately 9 a.m. Fate would intervene in a very scary way, however, as it's just about maybe 11:30 p.m. on the 10th. We received a phone call from my aunt, who told me and the rest of us that my grandfather was rushed to the hospital, and the doctors have encouraged everybody to make it to the hospital if they can, because they did not think he was going to make it to the morning. Not the best news you ever want to fucking hear, ever. So, naturally, what do? You pack up, you jump back in the car, and you drive back out to fucking Jersey. You spend the whole entire night in the hospital, and you pray to whoever you want to pray to, and you ask, and you beg, and you plead, and you hope for the best, right? And that's what we did. And it was about maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and my grandmother was like, we gotta go home. We gotta go home, and we gotta get some sleep. This ain't Papa stabilized. We gotta go get dressed. Get dressed. We gotta go get rest, not dressed. We were already dressed in the hospital, trust me. I promise. So we go home. Obviously, we lay our heads down, only to be woken up by phone calls in the early morning, and we turn on the TV to see what is going on. Anyway, that was my little September the 11th story. Of course, it gets a little crazier. I mean, but nothing that dramatic. You know, we were all in New Jersey, but I had other family in New York, so we were all concerned about who was where and what was going on, and all the phone lines were down, and you all remember. You remember what it was like, and it was chaos, and it was terrifying. And once I was able to find out everybody in my life was okay that night, then, obviously we were able to put this thing behind us a lot easier than maybe some of you might have, who may have lost or know somebody who have directly lost somebody. I was fortunate enough to not lose anybody in the incident itself, but I do have family and friends that did live in Manhattan that are dealing with health issues based on the breathing that was going on and all the shit that was in the air immediately following the disaster. But my grandfather would go on to live for another 10 years from that day, everybody. So it was just a very strange coincidence how fate pulled me away from such a life-changing event. I don't even know, to be honest with you, if I'd even still be here, because I'm a curious fucking person, and I'm also a helpful person. And I don't know that if I was in a position to run, if I would have. Who would have ever thought those buildings would fall down? I don't care what the damage was up top. I would have never in my life thought those buildings would have came down. So I would not have been in any rush to get out of there, as many spectators and people in the city were not. So who knows what would have happened had that weird health incident for my grandfather not happen. And here we are today on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show to talk about Monday Night Raw. Thank you so much for indulging my little story there, and thankfully you and I are all still here no matter what. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who was ever affected by this tragic day, as well as everybody that's been going through all the bullshit with all these fucking storms going on everywhere, and the wildfires, and all these earthquakes, and there's shit just happening everywhere. It's retarded. It really is. And I hope that everybody that's listening to the show, and everybody that's not listening to the show, I want everybody in the world to be okay, following all these fucking things that have been happening in the last few weeks. And of course, if this was a rough day for you, we're here for you now to try to bring you good spirits and good thoughts and bring you back to the world of pro wrestling, which is what really brought us here all in the first place. So, once again, thank you for that. Let me grab my Raw notes and let's get this shit underway. Raw began with their September 11th tribute, as we just kind of did, and we got an announcement of Braun Strowman versus John Cena. This is a great match. I don't have a problem with the match. What I have a problem with is what we've been having a problem with, and it just seems like they're burning through every possible match they can have with John Cena before he goes away. And there's no hype to it. There's no build behind it. There's not even any real meaning or purpose to it. I understand that Braun Strowman has been an opponent of Roman Reigns throughout the entirety of the year. He has yet to touch with John Cena. So, to make a comparison to Roman, is that what this was for? Because obviously that's what the first match that kicked off the show was for. Because after they tell us about Strowman and Cena, they have Roman Reigns come out to the ring, and he's going to fight Jason Jordan to see if he can show John Cena just how to beat a rookie. And my immediate thought was, if the WWE has even the slightest fucking brain in their head, the best thing they could do right now is make Jason Jordan win this match. It doesn't even have to be, a clean win. Just let him win. You will instantly make him a superstar. With the amount of heat that Roman has, you would be able to get people behind Jason Jordan the way the WWE want us to get behind him. If he would have pulled out that win tonight to beat the one guy we want to see lose all the time, superstar, born on the level that they want him to be. That, however, would not be the case. That was my immediate thought. Jason Jordan in this match would look fucking fantastic. And credit has to go to Roman Reigns as well, because it takes two to tango. And this was a really good match for both of these guys. I was really taken back by how excited I was with what was going on in the ring. Jason Jordan at one point pulling off a double bridging German suplex, belly to back suplex without releasing, going twice with it. It was just one of the most athletic things I've ever seen. Definitely was able to hang in there with the big dog, and it looked fucking great. Both of these guys really put on a good match. I was really, really impressed with Jason Jordan tonight on Monday Night Raw. It was just really great. But, however, they did not go the route I wanted them to go. Roman Reigns, after really being taken to the woodshed by Jason Jordan, comes out with the Superman punch, spear combo finish that we all have come to expect. And then John Cena would come out. And, without going into every word he just said, all you have to do is pretty much remember anything you heard from the last 2 weeks, and that's what he said. It's John Cena coming out, cutting down Roman about not being able to do a promo. Roman will follow up with his ability to not do a promo, and where are we? We are exactly the same place we were before the show started. Nothing is really progressing. We are just continuing to illustrate why the fans think Roman Reigns is not the guy. Explain this to me. Where is the logic here in consistently burying him on the mic? There are two things going on here. The first of which is he either just is really that bad and doesn't have a fucking fiery bone in his body and cannot get himself excited about anything because his deliveries are just fucking awful. It's not even so much what he says as it is how he comes across saying it. He doesn't even have attitude. He's got no fucking swag. Nothing behind anything he says. Or, and this is the kicker, the WWE writing team is writing all of this for Cena as well as what they're writing for Roman Reigns, and they recognize all his faults and put it in Cena's promo, which to me is astounding, because if they are writing this and they know and they can see that this is all Roman's problems, so we're going to throw him out there week after week until he snaps into it. Like a Slim Jim and the Macho Man. Snap into it, oh yeah, right? No, he ain't gonna snap into shit, because you either have it or you don't, and you've been given 3.5 to 4 years, 3 WrestleMania main events, and you still can't cut a decent promo. You're done. And when you're putting him against the best promo man that the business may have ever seen, and you are giving this best promo man the top-notch fucking stuff to cut Roman Reigns down in order to maybe bring some fire out of him or something, it's not working. It's either a trial by fire, throw him out there and let Cena just destroy him until he snaps out of it, or we're just going to voice to the fans that we know he sucks. But we're not going to change anything, and we're going with it because this is the plan. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Does it matter what he said? No. Because much like Bray Wyatt, it doesn't matter what's said. It's the same shit over and over. And yeah, when you're watching it in the moment, you get like, ooh. You get a little ooh, I was sitting there eating my dinner, and I was like, whoa. Look at what he's saying. Wow, but then by the time it was over, because it went like 15 minutes again, I was just like, all right, enough. I felt sorry for Roman Reigns again, but not in a good way. There is no empathy coming from me. It's more disappointment. I don't have any feelings of sorrow for him. I feel embarrassed for him. It's a different kind of feeling sorry for him, and that's not the one you want. Much like you want the real heat. You want heel heat. You don't want real heat. He's got real heat. And the same thing here. You want people to feel bad for him. You don't want him to be embarrassed. You don't want us to feel embarrassed for him. And that's what we're getting here. I just hope it would come to an end. Just like I hope this women's division thing comes to an end. Because I don't understand what's going on. First of all, the superstars on commentary has to stop. It has to stop. It's bad enough that we got 3 voices. You bring Alexa Bliss out, you bring Nia Jax out. Later on in the night, we'll bring out Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose again, like we didn't do it last week the first time. And it just clutters the announce table, and I just can't get focused on the match. They take away from the match 100%. It adds nothing. It adds nothing. It detracts. It's always detracting. Their voices are a distraction. To me, it throws the commentary team off because these girls are not commentators. They're there doing promos while these guys are trying to call a match. And I think that it's unnecessary. There's a much better and easier way to go about that. I don't see why we have to keep doing it. And it's every week, so it's not special. I'm tired of seeing it. This match gets underway. Like I said, Nia Jax comes out. Alexa Bliss is already there. And from that point on, I really didn't care. This match, they didn't even show much. They went to commercial. And then before you know it, Emma, although she was pretty much on the offensive part of the match through the whole entire thing, ends up rolled up in a bank statement, taps out, basic match, awful finish. Who cares? Did you care? I didn't care that Sasha Banks beat Emma. Why can't we do something interesting and maybe make Emma beat Sasha Banks and shake things up a little bit with this incoming fatal 4-way where anybody can possibly win, but it's obviously going to be Sasha, and she's probably going to pin Emma, and Alexa will never lose the belt so that she can always say that I never lost the belt, and everybody remains to look good except for Emma, which is a problem for me because she is a top-notch talent. She deserves more than this, and it's fucking horrendous what they're doing. They highlight what happened with the Big Show and Braun Strowman in the cage match. Fucking great. Good stuff. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman then come out. Paul Heyman calls Braun Strowman the single most worthy challenger in ages. And that Brock Lesnar finds himself in an unprecedented situation where the challenger is actually bigger and stronger than Brock. But are you better than Brock Lesnar? Heyman goes on to ask Brock, are you ready? You know, UFC style, a fighter, are you ready? And then he goes to the crowd, are you ready? And then he tells Braun Strowman, are you ready? And then he calls for a fight. And Braun Strowman is not one to back down from a fight, so Braun Strowman would come out. And the battle between the monster and the beast would begin. After a very, very short stare down in the beginning, these guys start throwing hands at each other. Lesnar would end up delivering a beautiful suplex to this gigantic man where he lifted him up like a fucking baby and just tossed him over his head like nothing. But Braun Strowman would roll out of it and end up standing up on his feet. Brock Lesnar got up all hyped like, yeah, I got the beast. He's in Suplex City now, motherfucker. And then he turned around and was face to face with the monster, who was like, I told you you ain't taking me to Suplex City, and then grabbed him by the fucking neck and chokeslammed the beast down to the mat, held his title high over his head, and Braun Strowman would reign supreme once again over Brock Lesnar. Absolutely fucking great segment here. I fully fucking enjoyed this. I am enjoying the rise of Braun Strowman. I am enjoying the fact that I'm eating my words. When I first started this show 1 year ago, and I hated Braun Strowman's guts, and it took them 365 days to turn it around, and at this point in the game, I cannot wait to see Braun be the champ. I simply cannot. And then what the fuck is this match? Alright, we had Goldust versus Bray Wyatt. Alright, Goldust comes out, he's got this nice new robe, you know, I'm feeling like, hey, you know, maybe they're going to go with something here. There's rumors of him getting some kind of starlet or some kind of superstar to be his protege, maybe a movie director or some shit. There's all kinds of shit being spoken about it. And I'm all in. I'm ready because I love Goldust. Classic Goldust is the best Goldust. And you see, he wants to bring it back. I'd even love to see Goldust with the Intercontinental Championship. He would make it fucking great again. Nonetheless, they put him up against the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. For what reason? Because Goldust wears paint. And Finn Balor wears paint. Before the match kicks off, we get a Bray Wyatt promo with more of the Bray Wyatt nonsense. He says Goldust is just like Finn Balor. He says, you hide your deepest, darkest secrets. You don't want the world to see who you really are. You believe your power is in your paint. Alright, good stuff. What does it mean? Nothing, really, because it's coming from Bray Wyatt. At this point, who gives a shit what Bray Wyatt has to say about anything? We ended up having this match, and this match was way too quick. It was over too quickly, but in the short amount of time that they gave this match, Goldust looked fucking fantastic. He wrestles better than half the new kids in the crowd. He's just deserving of one final run, and a good one, with some gold around his waist. Not in a stupid tag team with fucking R-Truth. And then you give him somebody to build off of, and to build up a nice young talent. He's great, and he deserves something. Bray Wyatt's time, I feel like, has come and gone, and this whole thing, I mean, I didn't mind when he wiped the makeup off and was proclaiming to the crowd, you see, he's just a man, you idiots. You know, like, we all get behind this paint and these masks and these characters, but at the end of the day, they're just normal men. And he's going to have a man versus man match versus Finn Balor at No Mercy. Is the official theme going to be, he's a man? William Regal's old fucking song? Is he going to officiate this match since he's the real man's man? Man to man. Didn't fucking Bray Wyatt fight Finn Balor as a man? Isn't that what led to the fight with the Demon at SummerSlam to begin with? Please, but what do I know? I'm just a fucking YouTube guy, right? I don't know nothing. Sheamus and Cesaro interview about this match they're supposed to have with Gallows and Anderson, blah, blah, blah. Who fucking cares? More superstar commentary in this case. Gallows and Anderson are in the ring. Sheamus and Cesaro come out. Ambrose and Rollins are on commentary. A fucking brawl ensues between all three teams. Who cares? That's exactly how I felt. Alright, great. So this is the tag team thing we're doing tonight. We come back and we have a promo by Rollins and Ambrose with Kurt Angle in the back. And they want to have a match with these guys right now. They don't want to wait till No Mercy. They want to fight everybody. You know? Kurt Angle's like, I can't have my champions in jeopardy right before a pay-per-view. I can't have my champions in an unfair match. Why? That's a stupid thing to make the GM say. If you want them to be fighting champions, you should be putting them into that type of scenarios, especially if they're asking for it. But no. Since there's only 4 tag teams in the tag team division anyway, why leave out the obvious and most popular one? So, if you could find 2 more people to be on your team, I'll give you the other 4 guys and you can have an 8-man tag. Who do you think it's gonna be? Did it take you more than a millisecond to know that the other 2 people were going to be the Hardy Boys? Because I think it took me maybe less than that. When you only have 4 teams in the division, doesn't leave much room to fucking wonder, does it? We have a promo for Asuka coming soon to Raw. So, for all of us Asuka fans, get it in while you can, because this is the beginning of the end for Asuka. If Raw's track record has proven anything, it proves they don't know what to fucking do with anybody from NXT that's worth a damn. So I'm terrified. At the same time, she's going into a very shit women's division where she could be highlighted very much so, and I hope that is the case. As we have Alexa and Nia again tonight, and they are on each other's back about having this match with the other 2 girls. They're pissed off about more competition arriving in the form of Asuka. Alexa wants to be friends with Nia again. Nia's like, you ain't gonna want to be my friend after you find out what I did. And she's like, well, what did you do? Well, what I do? I got a match for us. That match you've been wanting to have, that you think we can have a classic. We're gonna have that classic, and it's right here on Raw next week. who thinks they're going to take the title off of Alexa Bliss before the pay-per-view? It's not like they haven't done it before. Let's see what happens. After this, who wants to walk with Elias? I do. Elias strum-a-dum-dummed his beautiful little guitar and had a beautiful song about how Anaheim sucks, which absolutely made me laugh out loud. The crowd didn't take too lightly to it, of course, but pretty good match here between these two. Kalisto and Elias square off here. Kalisto getting off a lot of good offense, but at the end, Elias is on the rise, and he would get the win against Kalisto in this match here. This was just a filler match. Definitely decent for a mid-card match. I like the fact that Elias is being slope-built. I don't mind him not being automatically inserted into title contentions right now. Just let him beat everybody so that when he gets there, he looks legit. Not like what they did with fucking Jinder Mahal on SmackDown. Cena versus Strowman in what I thought was the main event. By the time we got to this match, I thought this was the end of the show. And we weren't even at 10 o'clock yet. Who knew? I didn't have a clock in front of me. I was just watching it on my iPad here. And I lost track of time. And I thought this was the end of the show. And I was excited. I'm like, alright, this show's been moving. You know, I'm taking my notes. Everything's moving along. Unfortunately, that would not be the case, as I would go outside to get a drink and see that it was only 10 o'clock. I'm like, holy shit. We still got a fucking hour of this to go? This should have been the main event. And if Raw ended right after this, this would have been a fantastic episode of Raw. But we had more to come. And some of it good, some of it bad, and we're going to get into that. But the Cena versus Strowman main event has one big glaring flaw. Not only did Braun Strowman destroy John Cena for the entirety of the match, Cena would be allowed to hit an attitude adjustment on Braun Strowman. He would roll out to the ring. It wouldn't cause that much damage in the end. That's not my complaint. My complaint is that Braun Strowman would go to the outside, grab the steel steps, and strike John Cena with the steel steps on the outside. Nobody calls for the bell. No disqualification was made in that case. No decision was made. He puts the stairs into the ring, and then doesn't physically pick up the stair and use it, but drops John Cena onto the steel steps via power slam and gets disqualified for that. I don't understand it. I don't know if the ref was supposed to call for the bell after the first one. I don't know who was confused where, but all I know is the ending of this match confused the shit out of me. If you were going to let him hit John Cena with 50-pound steel steps on the outside of the ring and not disqualify him for that, why would you disqualify him for slamming him down on top of them? Not really using them as a forceful object, but just using them as a floor. Would you be disqualified if you DDT'd somebody's head into a chair or a belt that just happened to be laid out on the floor? Don't you have to swing with intent to be disqualified? It's almost as if it was accidentally impacted, you know? Although there was intent, you can't drive somebody into it without intent, but it's almost coincidental. I don't know. I don't get it. Bad call there. Bad call, bad finish of that match. Obviously, you know, you don't want to have Cena beat Braun Strowman. You don't want that to happen. And at the same time, you don't want to have Braun Strowman clean pinning John Cena on his way to this match with Roman Reigns. So what do? You call for a disqualification, but you botched it. You botched that. That whole fucking ending was stupid. However, this would have been a great way to go off the air, but it was not how we went off the air. We would come back to TV with Miz TV, and I was immediately disappointed, but then I was very happy because The Miz and Maurice had a big announcement, and that announcement would be, we are going to have a baby A-lister joining the planet in just about probably 6 or 7 months' time. Maurice is expecting their first child. Congratulations to you guys. I'm positive you will be great parents. She's got more money in the world. The way you guys love animals, I'm sure you're going to love the kid 10 times more than that, and it's going to be great. She's probably going to have some unbelievable charisma. Is going to be a good-looking kid, and congratulations to both of you. Here's where things get weird. Enzo Amore would come out and interrupt this moment, which made me automatically start to question whether or not she was actually really pregnant. But then I started to read on Twitter and everything is being confirmed. So as far as we know, she is actually pregnant. So great on that. Enzo interrupts the Miz's little speech, right? And then it kind of went off cuff with the promos. Now, I don't know if the WWE creative seen what they had with Reigns and Cena and how the reality of the situation really made for the promos to have a lot more impact, and they wrote this way, or if these two guys really took some swings at each other. You know, the Miz was referencing, you know, how dare you come out and interrupt such a special family moment. This is a moment in my life, not just in my career. This is a life moment, and you come out and ruin it because you're an annoying idiot that nobody likes you. You get kicked out of the WWE locker room. You get kicked off the tour bus. This is because of shit like this. You think you chose to go to 205 Live? They sent you there because there's nowhere else for you to go. Because nobody wants you around. You're nothing but a con artist with a catchphrase. All you care about is hanging out with third string rap artists. He just went in on Enzo Amore, just cutting him left and right with his words. But then Enzo would strike back, you know? Say, hey, you know, you can say whatever you want, you know, but everything about me is 100% original. Right down to my fucking leopard skin shoes, and everything about you is a carbon copy. You take everything you are from somebody else. There is nothing original about The Miz at all, but what you see here is a certified G and is absolutely 100% original. Has a point. As much as I love The Miz, Enzo had a point there. But these guys just verbally cutting each other down led to this impromptu match, and Kurt Angle okayed this match. And this match would end up as nothing. These guys were continuing to verbally joust while the match was going on. Enzo at one point jumping to the outside, being like, oh, Miz, you know your wrestling sucks. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially that's what he says. And then the Miz takes the mic back. Oh, you want to talk about my wrestling? And then he just keeps asking him, how you doing? And then it goes back to Enzo, the microphone. And then Enzo's like, hey, instead of asking me how you doing, you should be asking who's your daddy. And then the crowd starts chanting, who's your daddy at Maurice. The Miz gets pissed off, ends up really going in hard on fucking Enzo, throwing him out to the outside. The Miz Taraj start getting at him. Disqualification. I don't understand the point of this segment. I don't understand why you moved him to 205 Live if you were going to continue to feature him on Monday Night Raw. We did not have a 205 Live segment tonight, which was fine. If this was it, then that was terrible. But I don't understand it. What is the point of this? Where is this going? Are we going to have The Miz versus Enzo for the Intercontinental Championship? Why? You just sent him to 205 Live. I don't get it. It makes no sense. So the show goes off the air with a very, very good 8-man tag team match. Pretty typical, everything you would expect from an 8-man tag team match. We had hints of the Broken Angle or the Awoken Hardy universe coming at us. Matt Hardy in full crazy, wonderful, wonderful, you know, chomping his fucking teeth at the thought of getting to be in this 8-man tag match. A lot of great spots. All 8 guys in this match, fucking talented beyond belief. Even the Bowling Balls, Gallows and Anderson, super, super talented. They did not get much feature time in this match. Are you shocked? I don't understand anything about that third hour. This was an unnecessary match. If you wanted to have this match, it definitely should have been in the middle of the card. Should not have been the main event. This show should have went off the air with Braun Strowman standing over Brock Lesnar's broken body holding up the Universal title. After he had already been through what he'd been through with John Cena. They should have flip-flopped those segments, man. He should have went through Cena, put him through the steps, and then at the end of the match have this confrontation with Heyman and Brock standing over, holding the belt up, fade to black. Monday Night Braun is over. Braun Strowman was the absolute best thing about tonight. Hands fucking down. You know, every week Raw's been, kind of been okay. It's actually been the better of the two shows if you want to go show versus show, but Braun Strowman tonight is the fucking all-star. Absolutely. You cannot take it away from him. Without Braun Strowman, Monday Night Raw sucks. Absolutely sucks. I'm tired already of Reigns and Cena. It's getting old, it's getting repetitive, and it's getting boring. I don't know what's going on with the Intercontinental Championship. You know, the tag team division, as I said, is 4 fucking teams. So we're just going to keep seeing them every week in some fashion. The women's division is all over the fucking place. But Braun Strowman is fucking amazing. The Monster Among Men made this episode. Thank you guys so much for indulging me in all of this nonsense tonight. Monday Night Raw's 3 hours was a fucking brutal 3 hours to get to. Like I said, after the end of that second hour, I was done. I would have been very happy if it was done. But it wasn't. And it just went on and on and on. So, we have SmackDown. Sin City SmackDown coming to us from Las Vegas tomorrow night, and we will be here to review all that with you. 3 huge championship matches. Make sure you are here to check the results with us. Also, don't forget to check out everything else on the channel. We have got tons and tons and tons of Mae Young Classic coverage, which is doing absolutely fantastic numbers. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting those videos. Don't forget to check out everything else. I got the Undertaker's return story. We got last week's Raw and SmackDown reviews. We got pay-per-view reviews. We have all kinds of special shit. Just peruse at your heart's content through the entire channel of Sledgehammer TV. Pick and choose what you like. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on every single video that you do like. If you are not part of the Sledgehammer Club, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and become one right now. By doing so, hit that ringity-ding-ding bell so you'll get that alert so you know every time a video goes live. And don't forget to check out Clutch Chairs, our sponsor. Best chairs in the fucking game. Absolutely beautiful stuff. WWE inspired chairs. Go check it out. Click the link in the description below. That's all you need to do. Doesn't cost a fucking red cent. Doesn't cost a blue or a yellow or a green cent. It doesn't cost no kind of sense. It only uses common sense to click that shit to support this show. Thank you guys so much. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone. This has been the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show right here on Sledgehammer TV. That is going to do it, and we are out of here. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Good night, and we will see you tomorrow for SmackDown Live.